Hello everyone. In the part 3 of the TensorFlow Lite series, I'll be talking about something called as post-training quantization. Now what exactly is quantization, how do we apply it, and how do we reduce the file size of the TFLite model is what this video is all about. So without wasting any further time, let's jump directly into the content of the video. But hey, hold on. It would be really motivating if you can press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos on data science and machine learning. Now let's kickstart the video. Before jumping directly into the coding aspect of post-training quantization, I wanted to explain this concept using a simple neural network. Imagine I've trained a network for training data along with training labels for 100 epochs, and this is what my model has converged to. So I have various weight values. So the first weight value that I consider has a value of minus 5.31345. This weight value is 5.920443. This weight value here is 8.309843. So all of these values are really huge in terms of storing them. By default, when you train a neural network using TensorFlow, the weight values are saved in float32 format. However, while making an inference, if you can downgrade these values from float32 format to integer format, then essentially you wouldn't find a lot of loss in terms of the accuracy that is there. So that is the whole idea behind quantization. So in quantization, your weight values, which are represented as a 32-bit floating point number, is approximated to an 8-bit integer value. The model does not lose much accuracy and your quantized model becomes 4 times smaller than the original TFLite model. So this is the core idea of quantization. Now let's jump to the coding aspect of quantization. So the task in hand that we have is to compress the TFLite model even more using quantization techniques. So in order to do that, let's start the activity by importing the necessary modules. So as you can clearly see, I'm using TensorFlow version 2.3.0. If you are currently using TensorFlow 1, then it is a good practice to upgrade it to TensorFlow 2.x so that you can utilize this script going forward. So the next piece of code wherein I've tried to create a TensorFlow model and then convert that to a TFLite model is something that I've already covered in my previous video. I will add the link to the video in the description section of the video as well as the pinned comment. So feel free to check that video out in order to understand the entire process of creating a TensorFlow model and then converting it to a TFLite model. So let me run all the cells before I reach the quantization step. I'm just stopping here to give you an idea in terms of what the model size is. So my Keras model for a very simple network occupies 1.2 MB. Let's proceed forward. So my testing accuracy at this point of time is 87.41%. So essentially the model is doing a really good job with respect to testing accuracy as well. So now we've reached the stage wherein we'll create the TensorFlow Lite model using post-quantization technique. So let me run this cell to introduce the file name into a variable called as tf_lite_model_file_name. Now following the steps of converting your TensorFlow model into a TFLite model, you first define a converter object and then you call the convert function, which is this piece of code. So in order to compress the TFLite model even further, the next thing that you'll have to do is you'll have to introduce optimizations. So the way you would do that is you would set the optimizations flag in the converter object that you just created and you would specify the optimization type. Either you can optimize by saying that I want to optimize the TFLite model for size, or if you have a particular notation in mind that this is the bare minimum representation that I want for my TFLite weights, then you can specify this option as well. So rather than directly optimizing for size, let's select the float 16 option. So let me uncomment this piece of code and let me comment out this line. Now that our TFLite conversion as well as the optimizations are in place, let me run this cell. Let me now save this generated file with the file name that I had just specified initially. So let me run this cell and let me now show you the overall file size. So as you can clearly see, from 1.2 MB, I have brought this down to 200 KBs. And if you remember the previous video wherein I created a TFLite model without any optimizations, that occupied around 400 KBs. Now if I don't have that limitation in terms of float 16 representation for my weight, and if I comment out this piece of code and I uncomment this piece of code, that is I want the smallest possible TFLite model, let's see what is the size that we are able to achieve for this TFLite model. So let me run this cell. Let me now dump this TFLite file into the file name that is specified above. So let me run the cell. Let me now go forward and find out the overall size by this very compressed TFLite model. So as you can clearly see, the most optimized version of the TFLite model occupies only 100 kilobytes as compared to the 400 kilobyte model, which was the initial TFLite model without any optimization. When you have a specific notation in mind in terms of your weight representation, so if I select float 16, then I was able to compress it by half. But now I want the most compressed form of this model. So I'm able to save almost 1/4 of the memory that the initial TFLite model occupied. So this was something that I wanted to show you in terms of how you can compress the TFLite model. Now the next piece is I want to validate how good this very compressed model is with respect to the testing accuracy. So let's go forward. So I'll follow the same steps that I followed in the previous example. I create an interpreter object. I get the input details and the output details. So let me run the cell. So basically what I've done is I've loaded the TFLite model that I just saved into this interpreter object. So this interpreter object takes in input values with the input shape of 1, 28, 28. The output shape of this is 1, 10 and the input parameters that it expects is numpy float 32. Let me go forward and change the tensor shape so that I am able to make an inference on the 10,000 testing data points. So that is something that I achieve using this piece of code. I call the resize underscore tensor underscore input function and I pass in the new dimensions that I want here. And then I call the allocate underscore tensors function for the interpreter object. And then I again print out the details that are there. So let me run this piece of code. So as you can clearly see, I've been able to resize my input and output tensor for validating my testing accuracy. As I mentioned in my previous video, the test images are of base float 64 type and we'll have to convert that to numpy float 32, which is what I've achieved with this piece of code. So essentially I create a new array and I specify the d type to be equal to numpy float 32. So let me run this cell. Now that all the background work is done, now is the time that I can validate how good my overall compressed TFLite model is performing with respect to the testing dataset. So let me run this piece of code. Let me now go forward and check the accuracy on the testing dataset. So let me run this cell and let me now print out the accuracy value. So as you can clearly see, I am able to achieve almost similar accuracy with a very compressed TFLite model as well. So this is the power of quantization wherein you are representing the overall weights in the most compressed format that occupy very limited memory in actual hardware. Plus you're not sacrificing on the overall accuracy of that model. Just to give you context in terms of what I mean by the memory that is represented in hardware, let me go forward and show you some simple demonstration in terms of how much memory we are able to save because of quantization. So if you recollect, the TensorFlow slash Keras model that I created had a name called as model. In order to access one random weight, I'll use the function called as get underscore weights and I'll index it using NumPy indexing. So rather than just speaking about what I intend to do, let me run this cell and explain you in a better format. So as you can clearly see, I randomly picked up a weight and it had a value of 0.096914835 and it is represented using the NumPy float 32 format. Now if I want to find out what is the total size of this variable, then essentially I can make use of the function called as getSize and pass on this variable that I've just collected into this function. So let me execute this cell. So as you can clearly see, this weight value occupies around 28 bytes in memory. I will comment out this piece of code as it is not required in this use case. Let's now go forward and see how much of memory is occupied by the compressed TFLite model. In order to access the TFLite model's weight, the process that I'll have to follow is first I'll have to load the TFLite model, read the corresponding values from the layers and save it into an H5 file. So this is what I've achieved using this piece of code. I've defined the H5 file in which I want to save the TFLite weights. So let me run this cell. I create an interpreter object. I pass in the TFLite model name. I allocate tensors. I get the input details as well as output details. From every layer, I catch hold of the weight values and then I save it into the above file name that I've specified. So let me run this piece of code as well. Now that my TFLite weights have been saved in the H5 file that I just created above, let me load that file. Along with loading the file, I'll also show you the content of one of the weight values. So let me run this piece of code. So as you can clearly see, one of the weight that I randomly selected has a value 15 and it is represented using the NumPy int8 format. Let me go forward and get the size of this variable. So as you can clearly see, this occupies 25 bytes and the previous version that I showed you occupied 28 bytes. This is just for one weight values. Now imagine if you have a big neural network with billions of parameters, then imagine the amount of size that you will be able to save by using post-quantization techniques. So this is a small introductory video that I had in terms of how quantization can help you compress TF-Lite models. I hope you found this video informative. If you do like the content that I post on my channel, it would be really motivating if you can press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos on data science and machine learning. Thank you so much for watching the video.